Scrapbookers, this is Megan and I am back today with a new 30 Days of Sketches layout. So for today's sketch you will have seen the one that I am using, and this was day number 16 back in May for Christy's sketches. So here you can see that I have this cut file, and I actually had cut it in half. And I was trying to see if it would work, but it just turned out to be a little too small. Since this photo is a full 4x6, the cut file just wasn't big enough. So I'm going to decide to cut out my own triangle shapes, and this actually turns out a lot different than I had thought in my head it was gonna turn out. So at first I'm going to cut up a bunch of different pattern papers. So that's what I am doing right now, is I'm trying to decide what papers I want to use. So I'm pulling a bunch of different kits and scrap papers from my stash, and I'm going to use this close to my heart wood grain background. Then I thought about matting the photo on that pink piece of paper, but in the end, I don't think I actually, no, I do mat it, just not on that pink photo. So here you can see I am cutting up a bunch of triangle pieces, and at first I'm going to use I think 4 or 5 different patterns, but when I put them all down on the layout behind the photo, I just really don't like it. You can tell that I kind of fuss and have a hard time coming up with the shape that I want for a triangle, because the sketch calls for like a bigger wedge, and I think it just, I don't know, it was throwing me off. I just didn't really like what I was doing. So I'm going to decide to actually change it up after I go through all of this cutting apart of all these different pattern papers. So here I am going to try to fit them all onto the layout, and they just aren't working out exactly how I had pictured in my mind. So here I'm still trying to cut out some more shapes and trying to force them to work. But you know, when you force things to work, they don't always turn out the best. So soon I'm gonna give up on this idea of doing the 5 different patterns, because I'm just not really liking it. And it might have been the papers that I was using. I don't know what it was, but I couldn't find a 5th pattern that I really liked. So what I'm going to decide to do is I am just going to use this yellow diagonal stripe, and I'm only going to cut out 4 papers or 4 triangles, and that is going to work out so much better, and I really love how this turns out. So it's a little bit more of an asymmetrical design. And here I am going to, I'm going to do a couple layers behind the photo. So I'm going to use this part of that triangle piece at the bottom of the photo, and then I'm also going to use the blue triangle paper that you can see there. So here you can kind of see me fussing and cutting and doing all of this matting with the layers, and I'm gonna be happy with that. I apologize if you can hear my dogs running all around. I am in a different spot today, and Piper is driving me crazy. I'm upstairs in my kitchen, and so she has the whole kitchen and living room and all the bedrooms to run around in, so I apologize about that. Okay, now here you can see I have that cute little chipboard embellishment piece, and now I'm going to be looking for some other embellishments and things to work with. I pull out this cute little frame and some sequins, and it's been a while since I've used sequins on a layout, so I am going to do my infamous sequin piles that I used to do all the time. So here I am just using this, I think that was an Amy Tangerine foam thickers, and I'm just going to put the time 11:59, and then I'm going to pull out a different alpha for the rest of the title, I am going to pull out, I think it was a Pink Fresh Studio is what I want to say. Yeah, so these half wood, half white dipped alphas. And the title's just going to be Asleep at 11:59. So Mark took this photo at 11:59 and I just thought it was a super sweet photo. And so that's going to be the title. So now I'm going to glue down all of these triangle pieces and then I'm going to glue down the photo. And I'm really loving how this is turning out. I'm going to put the 11:59 over to the right, and I decided to put it there so that you could kind of see Brennan, so that you would see all of us kind of in the middle of the title, if that makes sense. Because at first, I didn't even notice that Brennan was in the photo when I first grabbed this photo. So if I couldn't even notice he was in the photo, then I wanted to be able to point him out. So I'm going to glue down this frame and this chipboard piece, and I'm going to put a bunch of piles of sequins. So there's going to be a pile of sequins in that frame cluster, then one here at the bottom right of the layout, and then also one above the time. And the layout or the sketch actually calls for some stitching, so I am going to do a bunch of stitching on the layout after I'm all done, so you will see that in the photos at the end of the layout or at the end of the video. So here I'm just going to glue down all of these sequins. I'm not going to make you watch this because it is kind of tedious. Here you can see I am using some gold sequins from my stash, and I'm going to put just 3 or 4 of those in each one of the sequin clusters, and then I believe that is it for this layout. I hope, oh, I did forget. So I did add a cute little tag up there at the top to put the date on, and then a frame piece, half of a frame, to that in that cluster, and then that is it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you guys have a great day today. I will be back soon. Bye.